Hey guys, Dowd here. Today I'm going to do another how-to video. This one's going to be a little different though. This is going to be how to make an awesome apple pie. And yeah, believe it or not, you'd think that, you know, with everything else I do, working on cars, computers, firearms, electronics, everything else, yeah, I cook too. Love to cook. I'm very passionate about food. I am very much a foodie, as our group of friends calls us. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to make a apple pie from scratch, completely from scratch. I don't do the whole, oh, go buy a pastry and put it in your, you know, use that for your pie crust. No. I'll show you guys how to make a cool pie crust. A lot of stuff's very simple, very easy. Yeah. So we're gonna start off with the crust first. To make the crust, you need some flour. You need butter. I prefer real butter. This is actually sweet cream unsalted butter. 2 sticks of butter and some ice cold water. This is literally just my wife's Pyrex filled with ice and water. That's all it is. And before I start, almost forgot. First thing I do is go wash your hands. So, and when I say wash your hands, I mean wash them thoroughly. Like clean everything there, because if you're gonna be playing in this dough and working with it, you don't want anything nasty on your hands. Paper towels, dry off. Flour and wet hands is interesting. Now we'll go ahead and warn you, I know this is going to be the first video I'm going to do as far as cooking. I'm so horrible about measurements. I'm going to really try hard to kind of give you guys a real idea of the measurements. I'm very much kind of a, use some of this, a dash of that, a pinch of this. That's about right. So we're going to see if, we can maybe make a video out of this that hopefully somebody can follow. So, I'm going to start off my flour. I'm going to take for 2, enough to make, 2 good round thick crusts, for the one for the bottom, one for the top. Where's my cup at? About, I don't know, let me measure this and see. Let's see, there's, alright, so yeah, about 2.5 cups. Call it 2.5 cups. I'm gonna need more flour after this. About 2.5 cups of flour. I use 2 sticks of butter in mine, and what I find, you're gonna be mixing all this together. You'll see. What I find with the butter is I like to kind of chop it into chunks. And then toss it in. Oh, make sure the butter's cold. You're gonna see that the kind of coldness plays a lot in all the, at least the way I make my pie. Feel free to experiment. It's cooking. Cooking's one of those things that I think anybody who's really really into how things work and whatnot, your engineers and all, if there are engineers out there that don't cook, seriously give it a whirl. I mean, you're doing a lot of chemical engineering when you're cooking, and I think it's just a whole lot of fun. This is one of the ways that I relax a lot of times. And just slice it up, toss it in, kind of chunk it up, chunk it in. These aren't getting cut up in any specific size. You just are literally breaking the butter up. Because see, what you're going to do is mix the butter and the flour together real well until you get kind of a crumble. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. Alright, our first stick of butter is in there. I'm going to go ahead and start crumbling this up. And all I'm doing is I just grab it and squeeze it all together. Just kind of squeeze the butter, and you're just breaking up the butter into chunks. And what you're trying to do is coat as much of the flour as you can with the butter. Alright, so we moved the camera over here so you guys can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. You're going to make this all crumbly. See how this is very crumbly? And that's all you're doing, is you're just mixing them together. I like to kind of round them, kind of grind everything down together. And if you pick up a big glob of it, you can make a big ball, but what you want is you want it to be all crumbly. You want it to be crumbly. And then what we're going to do is, remember that ice water earlier? I'm going to start mixing in some of that ice water. And you can just, you know, pour little bits in at a time. I like to do it a little bit at a time. And mix, just slowly mix the water in with everything. And what you're looking to do is make yourself, well, a big ball of dough. Matter of fact, just so my hands are going to get, so I don't get dough everywhere, let me pull out a, like a little cup, a tablespoon. Yeah, so put in about a tablespoon or two of, not ice, just the chilled water, icy cold water, and just mix up. And you see how already our dough is starting to thicken. And that's good, that's what we want. We're going to keep adding in our water. And now we're getting places. Do 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 do, making an apple pie. It is not going to take a whole lot. I'm going to put a little bit more than that in there. You might use a third to a half cup of water or so. Oh, now we're getting there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And just keep working it. Make sure you work the water all the way through it. Alright. And at this point you basically, I mean, look at this, you've got a ball is what you've got here. So what you can do is wrap this up in like some saran wrap or something. You want this to sit overnight is what you want. So I'm going to wash my hands off and grab me some saran wrap, and we'll just wrap that ball up and it's going to sit in the fridge overnight. You see all that ice water there, I've barely used any. But we just want to use enough ice, or enough of the ice cold water to get it to form that nice big ball of dough. That's all you're looking to do. Pour a big old dough ball out. Wrap it up in the saran wrap. And what I do is I set the whole thing just in a thing of Tupperware. That's it. We'll come back in the morning and we'll finish this out and we'll make our actual apple pie roux to go in there. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and clean out my bowls, and well, that's it for right now. Hey guys, Doward here. It's now the next day and I have a lump of dough. Fair warning, my 2-year-old is still up, so do not be surprised if you hear him while being a little boy. First thing we're going to do, wash your hands up. Alright, so now we've got this big clump of chilled dough. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut it not quite in half. If you think about it, the bottom part of my crust in the pan needs to be a little bit bigger than the top part because of the height of the pan. So I'm going to cut it like 55% 45 instead of 50-50. I've already cleaned my counter space off, disinfected it out, I cleaned it out real well. And there's my 2-year-old. Riley bud, you gonna help me? You gonna help me out? Help me make some Apple pie? I know you'll help me eat it. Huh. Alright, so I'm gonna slice her, like I said, not quite half. Separate out my 2 chunks of dough. So I've got a bottom and a top. Mix this again. Now what I'll do is take a little bit of flour, spread it out. Riley, what are you beating on? I'm gonna roll this in the dough, and then what I'm gonna do is get my rolling pin. And basically start rolling this guy out. And because this is a cold dough, of course it's going to be a little difficult to roll out, so you just work on it. Work it out a bit at a time. You can beat it flat if you have to. Let me get out my pie pan and see if that's big enough. See what I do is I kind of imprint down onto it. Then I can take my knife and just very carefully carve out my dough.
Weren't you using dinner plates to do that because it came out bigger?
Yeah, but I can use the pie pan too. Now what I'll do is pull everything that's not part of my pie top. Alright, there's my pie top. I'll set that off to the side. Yes, Bug, what is it? Right on camera. Say hi. No, don't grab the light. Say hi. Yes! My loud bug. Wee wee wee. Wee wee wee. Wee 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 wee. You sure about that?
No.
No. You're not sure about that?
No.
Alright, I gotta break this guy loose up too. Good Lord. Just working the dough over. Just keep working it over. Get it relatively loose.
Oh
Oh no! You are a crazy, crazy boy, you know that? Riley! Sorry about that, I have a 2-year-old natural disaster. So now what I'll do is I'll kind of toss my pie pan down there and cut around the edge of it, about an inch or so.
You know that's just going to come to the very top of the sides, right?
Have some faith in me, honey. My wife despairs of my cooking.
Right. Which is why I've gained 30 pounds with you.
Don't blame me for that. I don't make you eat my pies.
Because if you don't make them, I won't eat them.
Oh, so you want me to stop cooking?
No.
Alright, so I've got a big thick circle of dough here. And a little bit left over. I always end up with a little bit left over. I never really know what to make with it. I don't know, maybe I pop it in a muffin tin or something.
Use muffin tins to make mini apple pies.
Alright, so what I'll do at this point is take a little bit of Baker's Joy. I love this stuff. Spray it around the inside of my pan. Take my nice thick dough.
I just kicked your camera.
Take my nice thick dough and start working it into place. I'll be honest, I'm more concerned with the way my pies taste than how they look, so you will find that it may not be the prettiest looking pie ever, but it will be a very tasty pie. Alright, so at that point we've pretty much got our shells made. So now what I'll do is I'm going to take my extra dough, toss it back in here, make something with it. Who knows, I can make little mini pies or something. Alright, I won't need this anymore. I will still need my knife. Okay, so for making the mix, you need about 3 pounds of apples. You need some brown sugar, a little bit of butter, some lemon juice, regular cane sugar, a little bit of flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and you're going to need an egg yolk. Alright, so to get this party started, we're going to peel all of our apples. And I just use a peeler. It's like peeling potatoes. See, this is the kind of thing on those big, high-dollar production cooking shows where they're like, oh yeah, look, these apples are already peeled, and some dude in the back has been sitting there doing this for like hours on end. Alright, so once you get all your apples sliced, then we gotta core these bad boys. That's why I have this. I'm attacked by a demon. You're crazy, boy. You hear you? You're trying like a freaking something around. Working on his Wookiee call?
Yep.
Up. What we're not going to do is leave a knife anywhere near you. Alright, let me get rid of these cores. Alright, so what I'm going to do now
You coming to mommy because you got all dirty with flour?
is just take these guys and dice them into chunks. Alright, so we're going to take our mixing bowl here, put all of our apple chunks in there. And you want to take about 2 tablespoons or so of lemon. And just roughly. First time I bought one of these. I don't think I like it. I'm going to buy it in a regular jar next time. A glass bottle. That should be enough. The whole point is you're just going to coat. You want to coat the apple in the lemon juice. You just mix and stir. Here's, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can get you a little better view. So all you're doing is mixing your lemon and your apple. You just want to make sure you kind of coat and get everything all nice and coated. All right. Then what you're gonna do is you need, I don't know, about 2 tablespoons of butter. No, sorry. Once you get this mixed in here, you need, I don't know, I do about a 3-to-1 for sugar, white sugar, brown sugar. So about 3/4 cup to about, I don't know, 1/4. Let's see what looks about right. Yeah, to about 1/4 cup or so. Toss that in there. Back in the bag. You do need, you're going to mix about 1/4 cup of flour in there. Not a whole lot. About the same amount of flour they use with the brown sugar. And the whole reason for that is that thickens it up. I'm going to get your cinnamon in there, about a teaspoon. You don't have to go crazy with that. And just a little bit of nutmeg. I don't know, maybe 1/4 or so. Then what you're going to do is just mix all this up. And this will make a kind of juicy roux, sugary goodness. And there we go. You start seeing kind of a juicy mixture there as you're beating the apple scale. The apple juice starts to flow out of them, mix in with everything else, and you see how you get kind of this sauce syrup thing going on with it. That's what you're looking for. Once you got this all nice and mixed, you're going to toss this into your pie. I really want a glass top stove for renting, or I want to buy a house and actually have a real kitchen. Night, bud. It's my little one's bedtime, so don't be surprised if you hear some demonic wailing in a moment. Alright. And I do like to get as much of the sugary mixture out as I can and just kind of get it in there. Now what I'll do is I take myself a stick of butter. And you want to put dots of butter in there. And the reason for that is the butter is going to kind of melt into everything, as well as the underside of the crust. So I'll just take it and put little slivers. You don't need a whole lot. Just set those around. Seal our butter back up. Put it back in the fridge. And this is not margarine, this is real butter. I like using the real stuff when I'm cooking. Better texture, better taste. I'll take our crust and kind of go around and pinch the edges together. Then you want to cut some slits in there. Alright. Remember the egg yolk earlier? Gonna separate the yolk. Yeah. So we're gonna take our egg yolk and just a little splash of milk. Alright, so we take our egg yolk and our splash of milk, just mix them together into a little mixture. Grab you a little brush, and you just want to brush a nice coating over it. Alright, once you get a nice thin coating on top, of course I just realized that I forgot to preheat my oven. So 425, the way I cook this, 425, 15 minutes, about 45 minutes at 350. So we're going to let this go ahead and warm up, and then I'll throw it in the oven. Alright, oven's at 425. We will slide this in, middle rack. Set a timer for 15 minutes. And then I'll reduce that down to 350 and let it cook for an additional 30 to 40 minutes or so, depending, until I get a nice, I get the top of the crust the way I want it. So we'll let this get going. Alright, we're 40 minutes in at 350. Take a look. Give it another minute or two. Alright, 42 minutes in. Let's go ahead and work on getting this guy out. I need a second mitt. Alright, here's our apple pie. Gotta let it sit and cool, and then we can dig in. Preferably with a dollop of, vanilla ice cream or something on top. Matter of fact, I could pick up some cream and make some homemade ice cream to go with it. So yeah, there we go. That's how I make my apple pies.